What's up, guys, and welcome to With All Due Respect, your weekly podcast show for the GFW. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. It has been a while. We have not been able to get together, Ebarb and I, and do a show, and so it was super important that we knocked one out because Desecration's coming up. And as always, we have our co-host with us, Mr. Ebarb. Ebarb, how you doing on a Sunday morning, buddy?
I'm doing excellent, man. Just waking up, eating some breakfast, having some good times. Having a great day so far.
That is a good thing to have, and let's just jump right into it. There's so much that we have to talk about this morning. I'm rocking the glasses today because it's early in the morning, and there's a lot to talk about. So we got the baby cakes hat on, we got the glasses, we got the pay-per-view, we got the card, we got all of it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm 100% down for this. This pay-per-view, is going to be awesome. We've got a lot of great matches on the card. We've got a lot of good in-ring talent that's going to be on it. It's going to be something excellent to watch. I think it's going to probably be our best pay-per-view to date.
All right, well, let me go ahead and go through the card. Chaos number 40, this was our go-home show for Desecration. Captain Alex versus Rufus Baker in the number one contender match on match number 1. Now, this was something that Luna had set up from the previous week. She was like turning on the club, and she wanted to punish them, excuse me, by making Captain Alex put up his number one contender spot. He had earned that number one contender to go into the pay-per-view, but he had to put it up here against Rufus. Match number 2 was Tex versus Blake Saban. Then a watering hole finally comes back. Tex and Saban was actually a hardcore match too. Then the watering hole comes back with a rookie, Damien. Match number 3, Dustin White versus Derek. Falls count anywhere in a match between two guys that I don't think actually had ever faced each other. Then match number 4, Aiden Steele versus Damien. The rookie was going to get another shot at Aiden since he was the one who pinned him in a tag match a couple of weeks before. And then finally the main event, a triple threat, J-Mac, Corgi, and Uptown Mike. This was going to be for the number one contender to see who was going to go to the pay-per-view and face Cactus Gage for the GFW Championship. Let's just jump into it. Let's talk about match number 1. Or actually, we can just talk about any of the matches. Let's just kind of just talk about the show as a whole. What were your kind of thoughts overall? We had a really great watch party. There was a bunch of us that were in there. It just was really good. Everything turned out exceptionally well. But there was definitely some feedback that we had during that watch party. What did you think about the show overall?
I really liked it. I thought everything came out great for it. I feel I'm going to go in this. We had the tag match on the last card where, Aiden did get pinned by Damien. That match still to me is kind of one where it felt like it was more of a handicap match because Damien's partner really didn't want to tag him in the whole time. So this is kind of the first match we actually get to see how Damien is one-on-one when he actually has time in the ring. And it was a great match. I really did enjoy it. He's got a fighting style that I'm not used to. He's very thoughtful of how he plays. He doesn't just set you up for a finisher and hit you with it. Like, he makes you think like, cool, I'm just about to walk in and go and hit him or something. And no, like, he throws a finisher out of nowhere on you. And it kind of something you got to watch for him with him. At the same time, we had that triple threat match. I thought the triple threat match was really good. We kind of had some a little hiccup on that and how the match should have been redone. Apparently they had to redo the match, and instead of going with the original winner, they just played 100% over again. It's not really what we like. I mean, if you're going to play a match first and then say, I think we should clean it up, stay with the same winner. That guy, he originally beat all y'all and he originally won. So don't take his win away from him.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Let's just kind of stay there for a second. Like, we found out about that, like, I don't know, while we were doing the watch party or whatever. And it definitely was an issue. It was something that was surprising that that kind of had came out because I didn't have any clue that had actually happened. But yeah, it's look, if you guys play a match, right, and a rule is broken, then redo the match, right? Start from scratch and just don't redo the winner. But if a rule isn't broken, you're just redoing it because, from what I understand, they didn't like the pace of it. They didn't like how it was coming out. Um, then you need to like make the show better, right? Like do what you got to do, but at the same time, give the guy who won the slow match or the ugly match or the match with too many glitches, give him back his win. And that didn't happen. And then there was, I think that, yeah, there's just a lot of really weird things that took place. I don't know why they took place or what caused them to take place, but this is how we feel. If you have an ugly match and you want to redo it because you just didn't like how it came out, then redo the match. Totally fine, but give the guy back his win.
Yeah, I'm 100% with that. If you earn something, keep it. Don't get me wrong. Corgi, I'm gonna tell you, Corgi won the first match. And he was the one that said, "Hey, I think it's cool if we would redo it because it didn't look that clean." And they all agreed on it. Well, the next match they played, it didn't happen like that. He didn't win again. And like he kind of told me and Dustin, because we're all in a chat together, because we're still his second character, his first character, Blake, we're in a faction together. So he was just telling us, like, oh, he's like, I lost. I said, well, what happened? And he told us, and I was kind of like, well, that's not how that happens. And he's like, no, it's cool. I wanted to redo it. It doesn't matter like that, guys. If you win your match, keep your win. Earn your titles the right way. Not saying that, Shada doesn't deserve it because, he has been winning. He has been doing good. But at the same time, keep it with who won the original match. There's been a few times that me and you have redone matches, but we kind of kept them how they were.
And that's tricky, right? Because I know that, excuse me, no spoilers, but there's a big match that's coming up on our pre-show for the pay-per-view. And they played it, and then there's a lot of confusion because guys just aren't reading, or I don't know what they're doing, to be honest. And so finally they set it up correctly, the way it was supposed to be set up, and played it. They didn't like it, so they want to redo it. There's like a little catch if you redo those of like really going at it and then at the very end setting up something that looks good, because if you like try to script too much of it, it never works. It never comes out the way you want it to come out. It never seems to play the way it just looks fake. It looks like you've set it up to be a scripted match that just doesn't come off the way that you want it to come off. What I did like about this show is like a lot of guys put in a ton of effort. There just seemed to be a bunch of role plays, a bunch of guys like writing together and like mixing stories. Shout out to Shada, right? Shada doesn't like to write role plays. It's not his gimmick. He feels like he's not good at it, but yet he submitted stuff, right? And then there was like a cohesion between all of the stories that we're playing. And I look, you and I have been preaching for since we started, right? Of how to properly work a feud. How do you play up a feud? How do you play out a feud for several weeks, build up to a pay-per-view, and then have that payoff at a pay-per-view? People have struggled on doing that, though. But if you want to see how to properly start, build, and work a pay-per-view all the way to a pay-per-view to a match, go watch Uptown Mike and what is his name? Crap, it just left me. Rufus, that's it. Those two guys have been working a feud for a while now. It works in their role plays. It works in every match. It is built up to where, like, I can't wait personally to watch the pay-per-view to see what happens with these two guys. They came to me with ideas. They wanted to do a lumberjack match, and I was like, yeah, do it. Like, they're going to set it up like a tag team match, but the other two guys are just going to sit outside the ring. Like, I love those ideas. And in this very first match between Captain Alex and Rufus, something goes on at the very end. Uptown slides in. He beats both of them up, right? He's building towards that feud. I just loved it. I thought it was perfect. And that's the kind of stuff that we need.
Yeah, 100%. And the cool thing, like, I really like how, if you look at some of our guys, I'm going to be 100% honest. Some of y'all are like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Y'all don't know if y'all really want to be here or not. Then you look at Mackey up, down. That dude had jumped head first in 100% from day one.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the last call, it was like what? Out of all the role plays, I want to say he was probably 50% of them.
Yeah.
It was like throughout the entire show there was something with him in it. Like, and it wasn't even long stuff. It was just like he had set it up to where he could be in little spots here and there. And in the watch parties, everybody kept saying, "Oh man, he's everywhere. He's everywhere." Well, yeah, he is everywhere because he's doing his work to get to be everywhere. You know, he's awesome at that stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it is a perfect way to find somebody that you want to work against and build a feud. And I can't wait to see not only what happens with these two guys, but then like how can they keep building this? Like it doesn't have to just build up to a pay-per-view and then disappear forever and ever. Like our big, our version of WrestleMania is going to be a pay-per-view that we call WrestleFest, right? And we're playing up with the whole like Mardi Gras theme and New Orleans and everything. Like I would love to see feuds built in like spots, right? And then that build up to that long, big match at WrestleFest because I think it's just going to be really, really good. And these two guys have done it. And again, like you said, like Mike just threw himself in. I mean, he's writing for announcers. He's writing for all kinds of stuff. Like that is the way that you build a character, that you throw yourself and get your call into an EFED that makes people. Again, I put the shows together, and I can't wait to watch their lumberjack match. And this is just like the very first time that these two guys are going to meet and really build up towards, WrestleFest or wherever they want to go with it. So it should be really, really good. What's another match that kind of caught your eye that you really liked?
Let's see. I really like the was it Dirk versus Dustin on this match?
Yeah.
On this card? Yeah. Those two in the ring together are always something to watch because I mean you've got back when we first started it, back when it was the WWG, he wasn't Dustin. Pizza back then was Adam Cole, and he had this awesome way of playing. And now that he's got Dustin, he's kind of transitioned a little bit to a different type of fighting style. And he's really cool to watch. He's
not to interrupt you, but like still one of the best promos that we've ever had building up to a championship match was that Adam Cole promo video that he had put together back in the WWG, where he used like a real Adam Cole promo and like edited it and put in some WWG. Like it just was like you want to see some cool stuff.
It was
go
awesome.
to our YouTube page and watch one of those last pay-per-views that we had.
Yeah, but then you've got Dirk, who's just since he's been here, he kind of opened the way up for the cruiserweights. He came in here, he was like, hey, I want to do a cruiserweight. Can y'all figure out how we can do it, what we can go with? So we let him be it, and now we have 4 or 5 cruiserweights now.
Yep.
And it's just watching him play when he first got there. It was incredible watching him high fly and the way he played and everything. And he's still something awesome to see every time we watch him play. So when those two get together, and it's always something between them because officially the only loss that Dirk has is to Dustin when he first started.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, he hasn't lost a match officially. So it's always fun to watch them because I know that kind of in the back of his mind, that's always eating at him that's his only loss is to Dustin, and he can't lose to him again. So it's always fun whenever I watch them fight.
Yeah, they were a really good match, and to be honest, since we're on kind of the subject, is that look, no one's challenged Dirk yet. Like I can't, I'm not going for the rookie title. That's Aiden's not going to go for the rookie title with Steel. Dustin White's not going to go for the rookie title. Dustin's always talked about introducing a second call, but it hasn't happened yet. And so we're going to have a number one contenders match. And look, if we build up to this next pay-per-view and Dirk keeps his title at this pay-per-view, Desecration, and the next one, then we're going to allow him to drop it or resign it or whatever, and then he can move up because he's kept it for a long time now, and honestly, no one's even come close. So I'm throwing the challenge out there to all the rookies. Like, here's a belt that's created just for you. No one's tried to work a feud with Dirk. No one's started anything with Dirk. we're like creating things out of thin air to give Dirk somebody to go against. Jay is got the guy that's gone after it on this show, and I don't know what's going to happen with that match. I mean, there's like a really cool feud, but look, Jay's going to need probably to step a little bit back here because some real life things that are going on. So look, rookies, like there's an opportunity, right? There's a chance for you to go after something. Rufus has tried to avoid titles for whatever reason. I get it. He just likes story writing and role playing, but somebody's got to go after these things. Like those titles are important, and if we don't have really good feuds towards them, then they're going to lose importance. And so, yeah, you guys have something to go after. And speaking of titles, I kind of want to get your thoughts. So your guy, Tex, is the hardcore champion. Jack has left for a little bit. He's supposed to be coming back here really soon. But in this match here that you had, I think it was Tex versus Blake. Luna comes out and strips you of it. She actually disposes of the hardcore title and is going to introduce a new title, a new intercontinental title. What are your thoughts about the hardcore title going away? You can kind of share why we've done that, and what do you think about this universal title or intercontinental title?
Yeah, I kind of, we originally talked about it. Excuse me, guys. We originally talked about it, and it was kind of like we've noticed that no one really cares about the hardcore title.
Yeah.
It was kind of Tex had it, and Jack had it, and me and him kind of feuded over it. And after, Jack kind of stepped away for a little because he had to finish school and real life stuff. And, it was nothing. It was kind of just put Dustin against him, do this, but nobody else really stepped up. It was kind of watching really boring matches.
Yeah.
Now at the same time, officially the only 2 5-star matches we've had so far have been Tex. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Tex can really do really good matches whenever they need to be, but we just kind of felt that the hardcore title wasn't getting any kind of pop or push that we really wanted for the title to have, so we decided to get rid of it and go with something to where we'll just kind of step away from hardcore matches and keep going with the really technical type matches.
Was it Tex and Dirk or Tex and Jay that had one of those 5 stars?
Tex and Jay had a 5-star, yeah.
All right.
They had one, and then it was Tex and someone else. I can't remember who the other one was, but
Tex and Dirk might be a fun one.
Yeah, I know when, like I said, when they first started doing the cruiserweight thing, I wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
Being a cruiserweight there and me being a heavyweight. At the very beginning of the match, I don't have to reverse anything if it's a pickup grapple because it'll automatically reverse it because he can't pick me up. And I was wasting a lot of my reversals not realizing that. So it takes time to learn how a fighting style goes, just like playing Rufus. When me and Rufus had our match, I figured, okay, I'm a heavyweight. I've got a good enough strength. I'll be able to pick him up, no problem. Well, guess what? Being a heavyweight and having all the strength I had, I still couldn't pick Rufus up into my moves. So you kind of got to learn. But that's why I kind of want to get away from the hardcore because, one, if I'm playing one of those guys, really you got to think about, okay, now there's weapons involved. I'm going to do a lot more damage with weapons. I'm going to take a lot of the time out of a match. I can make a 10-minute match into a 4-minute match, and it's just not fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then when there's no writing behind it, no storyline, it's just kind of, that was just a match. It's a title match. It shouldn't just be a match. It should have been, wow, that was an awesome hardcore match. Well, we weren't having that. So now we're going to try to get a triple threat match in between Jack, who never got his title shot back after losing it, Tex, who had to give up his title now, and we're going to throw Dustin in there because Dustin, since Jack went away, he kind of stepped in that role to kind of keep the matches going with us. And we'll see what happens. And we really want to try to do that 3-way match in, but if something happens to where one of us can't make it, we'll either see if someone can play as one of our guys, or we might just who knows? Maybe the guns might strike and take one of the guys out before the match even starts. You know.
So you've kind of started to talk about it. I want to transition to the pay-per-view card, but before we go there, since you've already started to talk about it, the show is called With All Due Respect, right? And I am, for my Madden fans out there, I am rocking my League Crawler shirt, but um, it's called With All Due Respect because this is like a um, I don't know even how to phrase this. This is not this is a show where we talk about like real things, like we're really honest and we're like not in character, right? We're not just like throwing stuff out there. Like this is where we give our honest feedback with all due respect, right? And so let's talk about like two guys, one in particular that have been pretty captivating since joining our league. So here's kind of like my little rant as the commissioner of this place is that I hate when new people join and before they give me a role play, before they play a match, before they do anything, before sometimes they even get approved, they start picking apart our rules. They start like, yeah, I don't like this, I don't like this, change this, you need to do this. And look, we want to be really open, and we have. We have changed things that Dirk has said, that Rufus has said, right? Like we've changed a lot of our stuff. I think for the better. Um, so I think we've proven that we're open to listening and we're open to getting better and doing better and all that other stuff. But at the same time, there is a point where you have to come in and like earn your keep, earn your voice, right? And so we did. We had two guys join. We immediately started like ripping apart some rules about submissions. Personally, I think because submissions are the easiest way to win a match. It just is. No one can argue that with me. It is a broken system. And I think that they were just looking for a way to be able to use submissions. And I feel like we created a way. What I find funny is we created a way where they could do that, where they can have a submission as a finisher, which I think is fair, right? You don't get finishers plus like a regular move submission. Like if you're going to be a submitter, right? If you're going to submit people to win your matches, that needs to be set as a finisher. Get to purple, one purple body part, and then you can submit somebody. And it's funny is that I think both the guys who were pushing for that never set a submission as their finisher. I could be wrong about that. I've been wrong before, but I don't think that they did. So Elite Soldier and Ace both joined us, and I got to give it to Elite. Ace is not all that active. You don't really hear from him all that ton, and it just might be life, right? It's not a shot at him at all. Like life happens, and life comes first, and some are super active, and some are not, and some are spurty, right? And so. But Elite has been super, super active, and Elite is Damien's handler.
No, you got it the other way.
Oh, do I have him? No.
Yeah, it's opposite.
Mm.
Ace is the one that's very active. Yeah, Ace is the one that's active. Ace is the one that is constantly DMing and talking to guys. Elite's the one. He's here now. He watches and does. He just isn't a big talker.
No, you're right. You're right. I got him flip flop. Ace is Damien's handler, right?
Yeah. Ace is Damien.
Yeah. I got them all mixed up, so my bad. So Damien gets you in the tag match, which was a shocker for me. No one else reacted that much to it, but it was a shocker to me. I was like, oh, this guy like just pinned one of our top stars, right? And one of our U.S. champion. Like there's something there. Like those guys can use that. This rookie can use that. Yeah, like there was a great opportunity there. And then he beats you in a 1-on-1. And it was like, wow, okay, this guy can play, right? You talked about like his style was different and he got you and you kind of wrote it off. But what I guess I really wanted to talk about was the fact that he hasn't done a good job of making friends. I find it funny that look, not everybody here has to be best friends the way Ebar and I are, but you got to get along. And in my community as a whole, Bad Leagues, FIFA, all these other leagues that we have here, it's expected that you get along and that you're friendly with people. And Ace is almost like went out of his way to not make friends, to not be friendly, to cause issues in DMs. Like, we never had DM issues, ever, never. And, like, ever since he's joined, every DM, it's where guys won't DM him. I almost didn't DM him. Last night, he was cool. He played straight up. He didn't cause any issues, but I've played him before where he's got to say something in chat. He's got to be a smart aleck. He's got to pop off. He's got to do some weird stuff in a DM. I don't get it. I don't get what he's trying to do. I can't tell if he's in character, if this is just who he is as a person. I've got 70 zillion PMs from everyone, almost everyone that's had interactions with him, and it's not positive, and it's like, I'm not playing this guy again unless you make me, and like, it has escalated to where it shouldn't escalate. So what are your thoughts about him? Clearly the guy's a good player. Clearly he's made some changes. Like, I got to give him that. Like, he has this like white meat baby face looking blonde hair. I don't even know who to compare him to. Almost not the whole like dress gimmick, but almost like who's the selfie guy in the WWE?
Oh, Tyler Breeze.
Yep, Tyler Breeze. He's almost looks like a Tyler Breeze, right? He's got bleach blonde hair. He's like a cruiserweight style looking guy, and then he had the Sister Abigail move, like where he's doing demonic stuff in the corner, and I was like, it doesn't fit, dude. And he's like, well, don't tell me what to do. I was like, I'm not telling you what to do. Your call. I'm telling you, it looks retarded. It doesn't fit. And he like threw a big old hissy fit about it. And then like I was like, whatever. Like, I'm not telling you to change it. Do you? But then he did change it. So it's like, he's a very confusing character. He's really, really good at the sticks. I know that you're pretty passionate about your thoughts about him. So with all due respect, what do you think about Ace and Elite?
Yeah, so, coming in, like you said, they've kind of been controversial since the very beginning. They wanted the submissions to be able to submit people. So we looked at it like we always do at all rules that get brought to us. The three of us, we all kind of talk about them, go over it, and we look at it. So we compromised. We said, okay, well, instead of doing a white body part, let's drop it down to purple, and it has to be a finisher. So we gave them that. Just like when Shada and Dirk showed up in their leagues, we talked about it. We kept what we liked. We kind of moved it all together. And as long as we think it's going to be helpful for the league, we usually go with it. Just like the tag team thing. We're still kind of talking about that. We haven't officially said on anything, but, we look at everything.
No, we did. Remember, we did change the entrance thing.
Yeah. And my thing is I'm the one that goes over every call.
Yeah,
I'm the one that goes over every call's attributes, their skills, their abilities, their moves, all that stuff. So I've got guys coming to me talking about, hey, I think he should change his signature because if I reverse his signature, he doesn't lose his signature. Hey, I think this guy should change their finisher because, I get that. And if it's a flaw in the game, that's understandable.
Yeah.
But if it's because, hey, his finisher is too hard to reverse, like I've been hearing from people, hey,
sorry,
not my problem. You can't reverse his finisher. Ain't nothing I can do about that. You suck at reversing finishers, apparently. Then, the way they talk to people, the way they are, I'm not the type of person that's going to sit here and argue with you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. I'm the type of person that's going to come straight up to you and tell you 100%, hey, this is how things are. If you don't like it, there's the door. We were here before you got here. We'll be here after you leave. You're not going to make or break. And I feel that way with these two guys. I'm not about to have all of our guys arguing and fighting one another. And it's like every time I open my phone, it starts vibrating.
And we probably shouldn't clump them together because Elite he's not around, and I haven't had bad interactions with him. I did have the first interaction of like changing the rules the second that they joined. But yeah, I mean, Ace has been controversial, right?
Yeah, and there's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's going to stir fire in some of these guys, and they're going to look at him every time they got to play him, and they're going to go, I'm not losing to this guy. Yeah. I'm not going to be the one that has his name's going to be over my name. I'm not going to do it.
And that's happening.
Good thing. And that's happening. I've got guys that we've talked to, and I'm like, hey, how would you feel about this? Yeah, I don't care. I'm just not losing to him. I'm not losing to him. That's what I keep hearing. And that's awesome because that's what I want. That keeps the fire in these guys. That means that match is going to be awesome. And I like that. But at the same time, in a DM, we still follow the rules of a regular match.
Yeah.
If you can't abide by the rules in a DM and have the fun matches, we're going to sit here and wonder what your match is going to be like on the card.
Yeah.
And we're going to sit here and we're going to look at these things and go, hey, we got to watch this for this now. We got to watch this for this. We got to watch him when he does this. And that's not how guys want to play. You know, I'm going to be 100% honest. The other night, Dustin and them, they had a match. Apparently, he counted Dustin out, hit him with a bat or something outside the ring to win the match. Okay, we really don't use ring outs. We don't. Every one of us wants to win by pinfall or submission because a ring out is pretty much, I'm going to say it, it's a bitch way of winning.
Yeah.
And you would say that's the only way I was trying to win.
Unless you're like building a feud and do it on a normal show and it's like part of a bigger storyline.
If y'all talked about it, if you've talked about it, cool, do it. Hey, I want to win by ring out, and then you can talk to me about how I couldn't pin you and this and that. You only win by technicality, cool. But just to do it because you can't pin them in a DM, or because you said, oh, I rolled out 3 times and I just was trying to DQ myself, it's a DM. It doesn't matter if you rolled out 3 or 4 times. Just don't do it 10 times. Don't do it every chance you get. You know, we understand sometimes when you hit reverse, it's going to automatically roll you out, you know. But follow the rules still in a DM. You know, try not to make everybody argue and fight, which don't say it's red and the other person say, no, it's maroon, and then start fighting about it. Because there's some childish stuff. And I'll say it too, it's not just him. Dirk has started stuff with him just to say something. Like a whole conversation stopped the other day, and then Dirk got in and said something, and it all started back up. You know? No, it did. So it's not just Ace. You know, Ace may be the flint that lights it. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. Ace isn't helping anything.
You know, everyone adds fuel to it. It's not just him, but it is a common denominator when every time you look at an argument, it's always Ace's name is in it somehow. Yeah. But at the same time, I like Ace. I think he's going to be a good wrestler. I think he has the potential of possibly being the one to start a good feud with Dirk and winning. But I don't want to keep having arguments every single day, constantly nitpicking rules about why this happened and why this happened and all that kind of stuff.
No, I totally agree. And I'm having to move here, so the wife was like, I got to have the living room. So she's up and about. I'll also say this, like, you know, I guess the bigger part is that he's just not. I look, it's just blatantly like I've built a big culture here, and I want to protect that culture, and the way I plan on protecting that culture is protecting our guys, right? And I do expect guys to get along, at least respect each other. You don't have to like each other, but I do expect that you guys will like each other, and when we have matches and when we do things, like I like that part of him. I like that what he said is that he's kind of lit that fire in people, and he's caused people to be like, yo, you know, if I have to play this guy, I'm not gonna lose to him. I'm not gonna you know, I want to beat this guy, right? And that part is really, really good. But there's a mix between like starting feuds and you know, talking in character. Like there is that like little line there, and then like also be like, hey, dude, look, I'm just in character, right? I'm just messing with you. This isn't serious. Like, you and I have had, like, some back and forth, totally in character. But at the end of the day, guys know that we're not being serious. So, lots of other cool stuff that's going on. But let's get to the card and talk about the card. Before we get to the card, we can also just kind of mention we did introduce some new rules. So, we made some changes to the current set of how you set up your call and kind of how you do things. And so I really like those. Those have worked really well. We may tweak a little here and a little there as we kind of move forward. But overall, I think that they're really, really good. And then we build up to the pay-per-view match. A pay-per-view with 7 matches. So we actually have 2 pre-show matches. So we'll have some pre-show time. It's the first time we've ever done that. And then 5 matches, 1 for each title, plus the big rivalry with the Lumberjack. That I actually thought and still may. It depends on when I see the video and how it came out. I still may make that the main event just because they've done it so well, and I want to reward them for that. They've just done such a good job. But pre-show match number 1, Corey Valentine versus Austin Basham. I think that's actually swapped. So match number 2 is Damian, because he's earned it, right? And Blake against Corgi, but stupid me didn't realize that Blake and Corgi's same handler. So I think Corgi's going to be taken out of that. Austin's going to be put in that. Corgi's going to go fight Corey. So Corey and Corgi's going to be pre-show number 1. Pre-show number 2 is for the rookie contender match. Then match number 1 on the regular show. What I do like, let me throw that in there too, what I do like about the pre-show opportunity is you guys can write role plays. You can write role plays. You can do promos. Like, there's a lot of opportunity to do some like really cool pre-show stuff there. So look, put in the work, get me some really good stuff. Then when the show starts, you got Jack Thunder, Dustin White, Text for the Intercontinental title, which used to be the Hardcore title. That's why Jack is in there. Hopefully Jack's going to be able to be in that match. Captain Alex versus Aiden Steele in the U.S. title match. Knowing those two guys, knowing the work they put into their call and what Aiden does with his entrances, what I do with mine, that's going to be a really fun match to watch. Uptown versus Rufus in the Lumberjack match. Again, that may get bumped up the card depending on how that comes out. Perfect way to write a rivalry, do a rivalry, watch how these two guys have built up. I can't wait to see this. I haven't heard from them. It's been a little quiet from both of them, so we're running out of time, but they still have 4 days, so hopefully that'll get in soon. Then Uptown, J-Mac versus Dirk Demoise in the rookie title match. And that match, I think, has already been done. And then J-Mac versus Cactus Gage for the world out there. And then I'm going to let you talk about the card and talk about what you like and don't like or what you're looking forward to. If you're ever booked on 2 matches on the show, which Aiden has been before with Aiden Steele, set it up the way Aiden and I set it up. Now, Jay and I didn't do this because Jay has been scrapped for time and we just didn't have time. And honestly, it slipped my brain this morning at 8 o'clock in the morning when I was super tired and had to play. But when Aiden was in that, in his second match, he let the other guy beat him up just a little bit, like half of a bar or a little bit, right? Like 4 or 5, 3 or 4, something. I forget what it was, but I think it was half of a bar. So he started that match off with a little less health, as it should be, right? Because he was in a match previous. We should have made J-Mac do that. We didn't this time. But if you're ever booked in like 2 feuds like this, and look, we're trying to keep that to a minimum, but if that ever happens, like put in that extra little thought. Those little things that you do add a lot to the show. We missed it with J-Mac on this one, but overall it was really, really good, and I can't wait to see how this card comes together. I am, again, most looking forward to Uptown Mike versus Rufus. And I will say this with no spoilers, that Captain Alex Aiden Steele match has the potential to steal the show because it was a hell of a match. What are you looking forward to this card? What are you looking forward to what's going to go on? What do you think about all of this?
Yeah, so I'm most looking forward to the triple threat match, and that's because that's a new title. We're going to get to see what it looks like.
It's a good looking title too.
It really is. Yeah, it looks awesome. I downloaded it last night and everything. Then after that, I would say the Dirk versus Shada match versus Jay match. I think that's going to be a really good one.
And I hope they role play it. Now, I know Jay, look, real life is first. Real life has a lot going on. But Dirk, you've been so more plugged in lately in the last like 3 weeks or so. So you got Rufus and Uptown. You got to give it to Dirk and Jay. They've also built up this feud of turning on one another. And Dirk did that awesome video. Like, I don't know why I let that slip my brain on the last Go Home Chaos show. Like, they've done a really good job, too. And you're right. This should be a really good match. And I hope that they played up with a couple role plays on the pre-show.
Yeah, they did really great. And a lot of people don't know this yet. I don't know if he really wants to know about it, but I'm just going to go ahead and let it out. Anyway, he can be mad at me if he wants to be mad at me. Dirk's second guy is officially done, and he has been approved.
Nice.
And it's actually, he made him a brother, and his brother isn't anything like him. Like, they look kind of like similar and everything, but he's a big heavyweight. Like, he put him next to Tex just to see what they would look like, and they're about the same size. So now, Dirk has 2 characters, so he's got someone else to bring in for the rookie in case he does move out. He's got another shot to hold it as as his brother, or who knows? We don't know what his brother's going to do, but basically, if you watch the shows, the guy that attacked Jay in the all black and everything, it wasn't Dirk. That's how similar they look alike. It was actually his brother. And he's going to role play that. He's already told me about it. He's like, I'm going to role play it in. I'm going to show everybody like that was my brother. It wasn't really him. We just look really alike. And they do. They look alike, but at the same time, they have their different characteristics.
Just great storytelling.
Now, yeah, like he's in it. Like he's going to do what he's got to do. He's involved now. He likes the storytelling. Now, at the same time, I'm going to bring this back. When I did the 2 matches with Tex, it wasn't Aiden, it was Tex. I let the second one take me down an entire bar. I was started out in yellow, he was in green. And we did that because I wanted to look like he had just had a match. Like I didn't even do an entrance for him. It was just my first match was against Dirk, and then right after Jack's entrance in with him already in the ring, ready to go. Because I didn't want him to like walk out, come back out, all that stuff. It made sense. So role playing and doing everything, it kind of makes it all together. Just like we brought this up in the watch party. I lost last week to a rookie on his first one-on-one match. And he said nothing about it. He didn't role play about it.
Zero.
He didn't bring anything up. So when Aiden walked into Luna's office, I put in there like, "Oh, let me get you one other shot." I was like, "Nah, he can care about him," and I left it alone after that. Like that was it. Like, oh well, I don't care if I lost to a rookie. He's a rookie. It was a fluke. Whatever. Let him start at the bottom. Whereas if he would have role played and said something about it, who knows? He might have jumped over going the rookie title. He might have gotten a shot at Aiden's title. But that falls on you to build your character. I'm not going to do it for you. No. Nate's not going to do it for you with the commentators and everything. If you don't write something for your guy, then nothing's going to happen.
No,
But at Desecration, we've got those titles matches up together. We've got the triple threat. We've got a rookie title match again. Watching Jay and you go at it is going to be something because what is it now? He's beat you twice in a row. Something like that. Y'all gone up against each other a couple times.
Well,
now.
I lost two matches back to back, but one was to Jay and one was to I forget, Rufus maybe? No, not Rufus. I forget. Blake. It was like one of those. Blake.
Yeah. So you lost to one of them, and you lost to him. So it's kind of somewhere to see what Cactus is going to do because he's going down this trail of if he's not Cursed Cactus, he's losing. But if he's Cursed Cactus all the time, he loses himself. Like I want to see if that's what's going to happen with him or not. What's going to go on?
And I will say this too: Cactus Gauge entrance is raising the bar above all.
I promise you,
you're going to have to step it up.
That entrance you did, like you sent it to me this morning, and I was just like, "Wow, this is awesome!" Like I promise y'all. This will probably be the best entrance he probably ever makes. Like, I think it's awesome. I think it looks amazing. It looks great. I liked your video from the OCW that you did where you did all the, the color changing and all the different stuff like he's doing the same thing. But this blows that out the water in my comparison. Then, having the Lumberjack match. Like, this is going to be the first Lumberjack match we try out to see if it actually is going to work or not. But
I can't. And what I love about it, cool. It was their idea. Like, it was completely their idea. I love that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we don't do this just, like, so that me and you and Dustin can sit in a group and be like, okay, what are we going to do now? Yeah. What are we going to do now? Because we run out of ideas. If y'all have something, come to us with it. Like, just like send me a message, send Nate a message, send Dustin a message if we're not answering. Just be like, hey, I got this idea. I want to try this, throwing it to y'all. Can y'all talk about it and tell me what y'all think? What's the worst going to happen? We don't like that right now. Let's wait off on it.
Yeah.
That's all we're going to say, But all these matches are, like, going to be awesome. I really can't wait to watch the whole card and everything.
Yeah. It should be good. All right, put your final thoughts on everything. There's been so much that has happened in the last since the last show that we had to have. We had a couple of really good shows. The watch parties are getting better and better. We're getting applications in every single week. There's a couple of guys in the chat right now. They're not active, which always makes me worry, right? When somebody joins and you don't hear from them in 10 days, right? Like, it's like, all right, that person's probably not going to last here. But like, there's just so much, from rule changes to building up to desecration, to the watch parties, which have been really, really good. Just so much really good stuff. What's your final thoughts on all this?
Final thoughts, 100%. Everything should be awesome on it. All the matches, I hope everybody can get in and do their matches. I really do hope Jack can make it and we can do this triple threat. You know, the Lumberjack match, I think, is going to be awesome. The new rules, I really like the way they are. You know, I kind of put a lot of work into the attribute system, trying to figure out what would be best for everybody. You know, going over everybody's stuff. Pretty much, I believe everybody's 100% done and approved. I downloaded everybody I could because now, you know, me being the non-technological person I am, I didn't realize that I had everything unlocked. And I've been sitting here trying to earn points to download you guys. Well, all I had to do was press square, and I had it. Yeah. So now I'm official. I can download everybody. I've gone over everyone.
I think there's two brand new guys in the chat that still haven't done anything that we. I'll give them to the end of next week, and then we'll just move on.
Yep, and that's what I was about to say. Like, also, guys, another thing that goes back to this, I'm just going to bring it up one last time. The arguing. If these new guys come in and that's the first thing they see, that is not good. That is straight toxic 101 from the very beginning. Like, if the first thing you see when you walk into someone is these people fighting and arguing, why would you want to be there? Like, we pride on our brotherhood and thing. Me, Dustin, and Nate started this 3-4 years ago, and we're, you know, we're 15, 16 years now, something like that. I think I was 13 when we first met. You know, he became my brother, and now we've slowly added Dustin into this because now, you know, like Dustin was, I think, 16 when he first started the league, was the last one. And now it's like we talk daily basis with all three of us, and we are like a brotherhood, and we see that with y'all also. Yes, brothers fight, but at the same time, the way we talk to each other in here is what's going to stop people from wanting to join us. Like, they're like, oh, that's a toxic community. All they do is argue and fight with each other. I don't want to be a part of that, and we don't want that. So,
and at the same time, there's been some amazing dudes, right? Like Dirk and Jay have really blended in nicely, but like Jalen, this new guy KO, right? He has been all in. He's been like really excited. Mackie is freaking awesome. Corgi's handler, whose name on Discord I can never pronounce, but he's been really awesome. He's one of the best call makers that I've ever seen, right? And there's just like, there's so many good dudes, and I can tell you, like, there are people who watch our show, and there are people who are thinking about joining us and looking to join us, and look, it's awesome to hear that Dirk has made a second call. I know Pizza's been working on one. I know that you've been kind of working on some other things. So Jack, I think, has worked on a second call. So like, we're right there. And to just drop a little bit of a hint, at Chaos, there's going to be a match at Chaos at the main event that I'm kind of forcing our hand on. And if it works, awesome, great. And if it doesn't work, then it just is going to go away. But there's going to be a new belt that's going to come out at Chaos at the main event. I'm going to handpick the guys that I think are going to put the work into it. And you have an opportunity here. And then after that, that's going to be all the belts that we want to introduce outside of, if we ever get enough cruiserweights, or if we ever get enough ladies, like if we ever get women to join. I know one of the guys said that their girlfriend would like to join it. That'd be awesome. Like, I'd love to have a women's division. So those, outside of those two belts, a cruiserweight and a women's division, these are all the belts that we'll introduce. And just a lot of opportunity, a lot of good stuff.
Yep, it's going to be something awesome. Like, we're growing, and we're trying to keep control of this. And we want to make sure that we're doing the best show, the best matches, and we want to have the best people in here. And that's why we're counting on you guys, 100%. Like, this all goes down to y'all. Building on this thing is on y'all. Me, Nate, and Dustin can't do everything. That's why we need y'all's help when it comes to making these matches. If y'all have an idea, come with us. You know, playing your DMs. It's not just practice for some of these guys. It's, making sure they learn the moves and learn the rules properly. Because if we get these new guys in DMs and we're not following rules, then they're going to be like, oh, well, that's fine in a regular match. Well, It's not. That's why we keep all of our rules in a DM. But with all these new guys coming in, I can't wait. Like you said, KO, he's in 100%. He's been around the whole time since he's have fun. Where you going? You were 100% when you first got here, and then you kind of faded out on us. Yeah. You left Captain and Cactus hanging, and now we're going to destroy them.
Yeah, we'll find out about that. Last little thoughts, and then I'll go ahead and wrap the show up. Is that the reason we're so protective about the culture and like how guys talk to each other? Honestly, it's what took down the WWG. Like literally, we had like 20 people, and we were growing, and we were starting the third show, and like it just was really great. And then because we had these two guys who really had who really enjoyed stirring trouble and stretching rules, it came down overnight. It completely destroyed it overnight. And then I went to the OCW and learned a lot of stuff from there, and then we brought it back. So I don't want that. It's not going to happen again. And the only way it's not going to happen again is if we protect our culture. So you're expected to be respectful to people. Don't waste their time. That's the ultimate show of disrespect, to not show up to a scheduled time, or to either miss a scheduled time, like that just is disrespectful because you're saying that your time doesn't matter, or to play a match and then like purposely break rules or do things. That's disrespectful because it tells that person that your time doesn't matter to me, that I'll waste it if I want to. So we're going to really protect our culture here, but lots of good stuff are happening, and I can't really wait to see how Desperation is going to turn out. So, E-Barb, it's been great, man. Good Sunday morning. I had the day off from service. We canceled service, and so I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my Saturday. I know your wife is waiting for you to wrap this up, so thanks so much for hopping on and doing a show with me. I can't wait to get to Desecration and see how it works out.
Same here, man. Can't wait for it. I'll see all y'all later.
It's going to be a ton of fun. We'll see you guys. Peace.